I think they're done creative things. And by the way, we are totally hands off. Like they're doing it. They don't want to hear from the radio folks. We've coached up a thing here, a thing there. But they're just doing their thing. Because Portnoy I think the first time Portnoy fails, maybe he'll be like, okay, maybe we should rethink this a little bit. That hadn't happened yet. But I think I don't think in mass we'll ever see them on terrestrial. I think in small doses there's a possibility.
They also have no ratings. So.
They also what?
There's no ratings to judge if they're irresponsible. Hey, we're good.
They have
judge measurement on that individual channel, right?
Here's the thing. What is Barstool built on? A digital following,
right.
A passionate fans about that brand. It fits for what we do. It's a niche, and they've taken off like gangbusters in what little streaming data we have. They've done extremely well. The question is, how big is that audience, and how long do they stick with them? That's a time will tell.
I want to ask you something real quick on that before I go to Spence. So we were talking about the ESPN World Wars when it comes to talent. We talk about what Fox trying to get on local stations. If these guys want to put Barstool guys on the radio, is Sirius about that, or they leave it to Barstool to decide whether they go on?
As a matter of fact, any serious talent, I don't care whether it's a baseball talent, a soccer talent, you want them, let me know. We'll get them to you.
Howard.
Yeah. Not Howard. So any Sirius XM sports talent. That's the thing about it. We're totally brand agnostic. We're a lot more like Netflix. It's like if you've got a good brand that people are going to pay for, come on over.
Right.
So as far as sending our talent out, no problem.
Tim Spence.
Fox TV drops $1 billion for Thursday Night Football. This is for Scott. You have a couple of iHeart PDs back here. I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Did you say yes or no regarding play-by-play for the FSR network? Just trying to clarify there, my friend.
Yep. So, first off, just because Fox got the TV rights, it doesn't mean there's a radio component, obviously, in this specific case. But it has to meet our business interests. And frankly, what a lot of the national play-by-play rights have gone for are just stupid prices that we know are not going to be profitable. So I think, in all honesty, if we were to sign up to lose money, it would mean we're desperate. And frankly, none of those deals that have come up, they call us and they're considered, but at the price those deals are meant for with the national play-by-play, we don't feel confident we can make money on it, and we're not willing to take a loss because we think our business is doing pretty well. It is. We're making money right now, so why lose in order to maybe get a couple extra stations made?
So that's a no then?
Well, here's the thing. It's a no in this case because we were not presented with the radio. The radio rights aren't there. So yeah, it is a no, but we've considered every deal that's come across, and we'll do a P&L and we'll look at it. But until we feel we can actually make money, it's going to serve all of our affiliates and meet the business interests, we're not going to just do it to take a loss.
Jeff Rickard has a question.
I think the biggest thing I see now coming back to the programming side of the last 6 or 7 months, and I look at it from a different perspective, obviously, is with so much out there and so many networks to choose from and so many even local programs to choose from. People are, I'm sure, as you guys know, pitching you stuff every day, all the time. Overnights and weekends, there's not a ton of audience there all the time. So my question is, moving forward, how are you going to super serve me? What are you going to do for me that's just more than filling up my nights and weekends? You've talked a little bit about some of it. Obviously, you're going to have your big guys like Colin or Doug that are going to be really attractive in specific markets. But outside of that, what are the things that you guys are thinking about that? What can we do for our affiliates today that nobody else is doing? Because that's really what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I'm hoping I'm answering your question right. Listen, football season, I know how important that weekend content is because it's an innings eater. So what we did this past football season, and it's combined with our simulcast of the Fox NFL Sunday, but we had 160 years of NFL experience on our Saturdays and Sundays. 160 years of NFL experience, 12 Super Bowl champions, 39 Pro Bowl appearances combined with all of our talent, including the NFL on Fox. So what we try to do is we try to provide the best content where it's a no-brainer to affiliate with us. And I think that might be what you're asking if you were looking for something more specific.
Yeah, there's also some extras. Like we just did a deal with ESPN, with Golic and Wingo. They called us up. They said, hey, you guys interested in doing anything to kind of launch the show? And I said, well, it depends. What are you talking about? They said, what about a flyaway experience, getaway? Guys can come in, they can watch the show, be in tape, spend the day at Bristol, get tours. I said, that's great. Who's going to pay for it? They said, well, what if we go 50-50? I said, that's great. Who's going to pay for it? At the end of the day, they paid for everything.
I love that
That's
desperation. That's great service.
But
That's tremendous.
But I'm just saying, honestly, from a local perspective, and a lot of stations are in my boat, they don't have $50,000 of a marketing budget all the time.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that ultimately is going to make the difference between whether we go with your network or another network or some other form of programming on a weekend night.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we want to do the best customer service we can. I don't envision us bankrolling like $50,000 to
I
come see
understand
us.
that, but-
I wish we could, trust me. But no, listen, we try to, every request that comes, we want the answer to be yes. Finances, listen, we can't, we're not in a position to just fund something at every market. I wish we could, trust me. But we try to listen. We try to be realistic with every ask that comes and try to service however we can.
We're going to take one final question. John Hanson.
Scott, back at you. I'm really interested in this dynamic that you have. You're in the same boat we all are in terms of getting that content out anyway, any time. But at the same time, you're saying that the affiliates are of utmost priority to you. And of course, for us, we can do the same thing, but we're able to monetize, hopefully be able to monetize the podcasts, and if we're streaming or what have you. The only thing we're making money on is the terrestrial radio. So I just like to hear more about the dynamic that you have in your day-to-day in that balancing that act between serving the affiliates and then still trying to get your audio out there any way, shape, or form other than those affiliates.
So to me, again, content is king, and I really believe it. And this goes back to like the Mike and Mike days. The philosophy is if your content is good, people are going to find it. Now, when I came into Fox, I didn't think it was ubiquitous enough. I didn't think enough people knew where we were. So we've been very, very aggressive in social channels just to make sure, hey, look at us, we're here. In the wilderness of all these opportunities, we want to make sure, our content is good and pound our chest when there's moments to celebrate. So the biggest thing we've been seeking is just for awareness, for exposure. So, bringing over Colin Cowherd, that helps. And, I think that swung the balance of power with the national lineups when Colin came over. But more than anything else, I'm obsessed with content. I think if our content is good, it's going to work everywhere. But the biggest thing is making sure young male, and I'm jealous in a lot of ways of Barstool for what they've built because they've cultivated a large, loyal, young following. And that's what I want. That's what every brand wants, local, national. So it's ultimately the content. And then the goal is, listen, I have a great team in place, many of which now that I've hired, to try to just get our content out there. And, you just try to be as aggressive as possible. And, the one thing, too, with the Fox brand, we can be a lot more aggressive. It's a lot less, I say political, but not in a political sense. But there's far less red tape and boundaries than at my former company. So we can take chances to be seen and, to find awareness that we couldn't have done at ESPN.
Guys.